Good evening and welcome to the Daily News Roundup. I am Abigail Smythe. Coming up in this newscast, 12-year-old boy commits suicide in Westmoreland, 25-year-old farmer murdered in Clarendon. Police commissioner concerned about double murders becoming a trend. St. Catherine Member of Parliament calls out utility providers for neglect of rural communities. Finance Minister to bring Jamaica Customs Bill to Parliament. In the region, Cayman Islands issue appeal for blood. And further overseas, the US's decision to aid Ukraine poses risk of clash between Russia and the West. And in sports, St. George's College leads Group A in ISA Digicel Manning Cup. We begin tonight in Westmoreland, where the police are probing the suspected suicide of 12-year-old Laron Jurick, who was found hanging from a tree in his yard in the community of Broughton District. Laron's mother, Candine Palmer, told the Gleaner that her son was unruly towards one of his cousins, so on Monday afternoon she scolded him and ordered him to go to his cousin's house and apologize. Hours later, Laron could not be found. Palmer said a check with his cousin revealed that he did not turn up to his house. The worried mother said when her son did not return home Monday night, she went to the Little London police station and filed a missing persons report. She was sent in shock early Tuesday morning, minutes after she walked from her house to fetch a bucket of water and discovered Laron's body hanging from the branch of an apple tree in the back of their yard. She raised an alarm and the police were summoned. The scene was processed by investigators and the boy's body was removed to the morgue. Laron's mother said though her son had suicidal tendencies, she is still in disbelief. She noted that the boy had slit his wrist before, and she added that prior to his death, she made frequent visits to the Child Protection and Family Services to address his behavioral issues. Meanwhile, a family friend and neighbor of the deceased described Laron as a pleasant but emotional child who would cry if spoken to in a stern manner. The neighbor said the boy would run to her in times of trouble and would often make complaints. Residents of Port Royal are concerned that their own peaceful and quiet community is changing for the worst. This after 41-year-old fisherman Narado Isaacs was mowed down in the town square during a fight with another man early Tuesday morning. His sister was among those who witnessed his killing and told the Gleaner that the image of it keeps replaying in her mind. The sister said Isaacs got into an argument with a man a little after 12 a.m. However, it escalated and another man got involved and slapped him 3 times. Isaacs retaliated and the man got into his vehicle and ran him over. He was taken to the hospital by police officers who were on the scene. Superintendent in charge of the St. Andrew Eastern Police Division, Tommy Lee Chambers, said the police are still trying to locate the suspect who drove away after the fact. He has been identified as Kemar Kiki Clark of Fletcher's Land in Kingston. Superintendent Chambers noted that Clark was previously charged for illegal possession of a firearm and was reporting to the Port Royal Police Station. His child's mother reportedly lives in the community and he visits frequently. A fisherman from the town, David Palmer, who has lived in the area for 62 years, blames the migration of people from the other areas to the community for the increase in conflicts. Superintendent Chambers said the police will be working to ensure Port Royal remains safe. A farmer was murdered along the Rhymesbury Main Road in Clarendon Tuesday morning. 25-year-old Fabian Mullings was shot multiple times while tending to his cattle sometime after 9 o'clock. It has heightened concerns about the number of farmers attacked in the area in recent times. Councillor for the Yorktown Division of the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, Ufel Purcell, expressed concern about the level of criminality in the parish. He lamented that it has been having a crippling effect on most normal activities, including churches and schools, and urged the government to do more to restore a semblance of normality to the parish. The police are now probing a double murder in Manchester following the death of a second victim of a shooting that occurred on Saturday. 37-year-old Dale Clark of Caledonia Avenue, Manchester, died on Tuesday in hospital. The other victim, Romario Allen, otherwise called Ruru, died on Sunday. According to police report, about 2:15 Saturday morning, Allen and Clark were among persons standing along Ward Avenue in Mandeville when a motorcar drove up and several explosions were heard. When the shooting subsided, the men were seen suffering from gunshot wounds and were both taken to hospital. The Major Investigation Division is now probing the incident. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson is expressing concern about multiple murders becoming a trend. During a media briefing Tuesday afternoon, General Anderson stated that 147 people were murdered in September, making it one of the bloodiest months so far this year. There were 19 incidents of multiple murders in September alone, 18 double murders and a triple murder. He said so far this year there have been 99 incidents of multiple murders, resulting in 218 victims. General Anderson also said the police believe the trend is reflective of how easy it is for criminals to acquire guns and ammunition. The commissioner lamented that unlike the police, who are constrained in the use of lethal force when bystanders are around, these criminals don't care who they maim, kill, or hurt. He added that in several of the incidents, there were multiple intended targets, while others who seemed to have been innocent bystanders were actually associated with the targets. As such, General Anderson reiterated the warning that if an individual is associated with or are related to gunmen, they are at great risk of becoming a victim of gun violence. He also pointed out that criminals, in their attempt to escape a crime scene, will spray bullets on other persons gathered if they are challenged. And major crimes have increased by 3.8% as at the end of September. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson said murders are up by 8% compared with the same period last year. Some 1,171 people have been murdered in Jamaica to date. This is 86 more when compared with the same period last year. Robberies and break-ins are also on the increase, with robberies up 17% and break-ins up 7%. However, shootings have declined by 6%. In the meantime, the police commissioner reported that 584 illegal firearms have been seized up to the end of September. This is an 11% increase over the last year. Shotgun seizures are up by 111%, while rifle seizures have increased by 58%. General Anderson said pistol seizures are up by 8%, and the seizure of submachine guns has risen by 42%. And the police commissioner disclosed on Tuesday that he has been in discussions with his counterpart in the Turks and Caicos Islands on the matter of Jamaican-related gang activities in the British Overseas Territory. The territory's governor, Nigel Dakin, had appealed for support from the Jamaican government to tackle the problem, as the territory recorded 14 murders in September. Meanwhile, criminologist Dr. Jason McKay argues that the Turks and Caicos government grappling with a rise in Jamaican-related gang activities is a demonstration of the seriousness of gang problem in Jamaica. Dr. McKay says the Jamaican government should offer assistance to the Turks and Caicos Islands and use the opportunity for information gathering on Jamaican criminals in the territory. Northeast St. Catherine Member of Parliament Carencia Morrison has called out the country's utility providers for their neglect of rural communities. She brought the issue to the fore during her State of the Constituency debate in the House of Representatives Tuesday afternoon. Ms. Morrison poured scorn on the National Water Commission (NWC) for depriving residents of her constituency of water due to excessive bills they did not rack up. The first-term MP said the NWC's practice of charging bills to the property rather than the customer must stop. She noted that this forces residents to clear up substantial arrears caused by others before they can receive their precious commodity. She said this expectation of the NWC is outrageous. MP Morrison shared the same sentiments about the Jamaica Public Service Company JPS. She argued that the JPS routinely shows disrespect and disregard for rural communities. Additionally, the MP slammed the former PNP administration for not addressing many of these issues during their time in government. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark has promised that in short order he will bring the Jamaica Customs Bill to Parliament for debate. This commitment follows adoption of the Joint Select Committee's report on the bill at Tuesday's sitting of the House of Representatives. Dr. Clark says the committee met 14 times to fully examine the 852-page bill and recommended several amendments. Among other things, it recommends that the definition of goods be amended to include any form of currency. The finance minister says consequential amendments to other statutes will be proposed when the bill is examined clause by clause. The bill seeks to provide a modern framework to enhance ease of doing business. It will repeal and replace the existing Customs Act. And in the region, the Cayman Islands Blood Bank has issued a critical appeal for type O negative blood. It is asking all eligible individuals to donate immediately. The appeal comes as the blood bank advised that supply chain delays from the U.S. due to Hurricane Ian have slowed the delivery of blood. In a statement, the blood bank said healthy volunteers are encouraged to donate blood throughout the year to maintain a stable blood supply for the sake of patients dependent on blood transfusions due to surgery or blood diseases. And in international news, Moscow has warned that the U.S.'s decision to send more military aid to Ukraine increases the danger of a direct military clash between Russia and the West. Russia's ambassador to the U.S., Anatoly Anatov, said it was an immediate threat to Moscow, describing the U.S. as a participant of the conflict. Earlier, the U.S. announced another $625 million in military aid to Ukraine. Advanced U.S. weaponry has been credited with helping Ukraine build momentum against occupying Russian forces, and Ukrainian troops have made significant advances in the country's northeast and south in recent weeks. In all, Washington has committed nearly $17 billion in military aid for Kyiv since Russian President Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine on February 24. In a statement on Thursday, Mr. Antonov warned that the U.S. decision to continue pumping the Kyiv regime with heavy weapons only secures Washington's status as a participant of the conflict. He said this would result in protracted bloodshed and new casualties. And in sports, St. George's College defeated Waterford High 3-0 in their Issa Digicel Manning Cup game at Winchester Park on Tuesday. Second half strikes from Tayshaun O'Neill in the 57th minute, Brian Burkett in the 68th minute, and Adrian Reed in the 84th overpowered Waterford, avenging the 3-2 defeat they suffered last month. St. George's now moved to 12 points in Group A to temporarily lead the group. Waterford are now third on 10 points, while KC are second on 12, but with a lower goal difference. And that's it for today's News Roundup. I am Abigail Smythe. See you next time.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's Teach Them, right here. Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Like the video before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And remember to share the video with your friends and family. And browse the channel for more quality content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them!